these rich people, they don't have social media. You can't get in touch with these people. They don't have Facebook or anything. But you can bet these motherfuckers have Venmo.
No.
Oh yeah, bro. So I sent the guy a Venmo request for 2 pennies to get his 2 cents about Jordan and I being his agents.
And that worked?
Fuck yeah, it worked. That's why I ordered champagne.
The Beta Test is a brand new film that's written and directed by Jim Cummings and PJ McCabe. So, The Beta Test was a film that I was actually pretty damn excited to watch, just because of the fact that Jim Cummings is not only starring in it, but is once again directing and writing his own work. And Jim Cummings is somebody that I'm actually hugely inspired by. When I saw his first film, Thunder Road, a few years back, I was blown away by it. I mean, that film, I wouldn't say is a masterpiece, but it's damn near one. Or at the very least, it's really close to being a flawless film. In that film alone, Jim Cummings was really able to showcase his talent on and off screen. And he's somebody that I've just been on the lookout for, not only because of how truly talented this guy is, but also just his ability to make it in the film industry through purely independent means. This is somebody who's been pretty damn successful so far, self-financing his own films, not only through his own money and through his own investment, but by also just getting his own friends and his own supporters to invest in his films. And it's really inspirational stuff because this is somebody who is proving to a lot of people and proving to the film industry itself that you don't really need to rely on white men in suits and smoking cigars in order to make your dream come true. And I'm pretty sure there's plenty of producers in the film industry that are kind of threatened by that. But I just think it's really awesome that this guy has been able to do and have a lot of success purely through independent means. And it only makes it better that this guy is truly talented. Again, if you haven't seen Thunder Road, I highly suggest you check it out because I really do think it's a fantastic piece of filmmaking. And The Beta Test is his third film. He made a film after Thunder Road called The Wolf of Snow Hollow. And I actually thought that was a pretty entertaining and effective film as well. I didn't think it was nearly as good as Thunder Road, but Perry and I reviewed it, and I think we both landed on a 7, like a soft or solid 7 for that film. So, I mean, for a werewolf movie, it's actually pretty effective and has a lot of things going for it. And going into The Beta Test, the reviews coming out of the gate are pretty stellar. So that just got me even more excited to see what this film had to offer, to see what Jim Cummings had to offer. And I gotta say, The Beta Test is by far his weakest film. And it kind of pains me to say that because I was really expecting him to evolve his craft a little bit. And in a way, he kind of is. So I don't want to dog him too much. And I also want to make a note that this isn't a bad movie either. I would not consider this a bad movie. And as a matter of fact, I would say that this is actually a recommendable film. But there are plenty of things about this film that I thought were effective and I do admire on a filmmaking standpoint. Of course, Jim Cummings is, again, showcasing how much talent he has. And again, both on and off screen. This is the third film that not only he's written and directed, but also starring in it as the lead character. And I like that this time around, he finally decided to tackle a character that wasn't the unhinged cop. Because he was exactly that in Thunder Road and The Wolf of Snow Hollow. And here, he's basically the unhinged Hollywood agent. So yeah, he's still playing that really wound up and incredibly on edge type of character that he's able to portray so well. So I'm really not complaining because he's able to express and explore these types of characters incredibly well. But Jim Cummings is such a goofy dude. Even in a film like Thunder Road, where he has more of a dramatic role, he's able to portray this kind of silly and humorous character in a way that still feels genuine and not that cartoony, to the point where you actually do feel him on a more authentic level. And here with The Beta Test, a lot of the aspects that I enjoyed out of his previous two films are present. And again, that mostly has to do with Jim Cummings' talent as an actor and also his talent as a writer and director. And also his ability to incorporate a lot of humor in his films. That's something that I've seen in all of his films so far, is that even with a film like The Wolf of Snow Hollow and The Beta Test, where you have a lot of mysterious and thrilling elements in it, he's able to incorporate humor into them incredibly well. And that's something that's really difficult to do in filmmaking, but somehow he's able to really pull off these comedic tones, and just the way he's able to deliver all this dialogue makes it for a really entertaining ride. And honestly, especially here with The Beta Test, Jim Cummings' acting ability is what kind of holds this film on its shoulders, because he is hugely why I kept invested in this film and still found it quite entertaining. And The Beta Test is the most genre-blending film that I've seen from him so far. I mean, this movie is pretty much everything. It's a mystery, it's a thriller, it's a drama, it's a comedy, it's a romance, and some of it works and some of it doesn't. But I think, again, the best aspect of his genre-blending ability is how he's able to incorporate humor in this film. Even though at times you're not really sure what's meant to be taken seriously or meant to be laughed at. But for the most part, I think his incorporation of humor works very well and is pretty effective. And I also like the characters and the setting and the themes of this film in general. Because, as I said, Jim Cummings plays a Hollywood agent, and this guy's thirsty as hell. This is somebody who is, even though he's getting married very soon, he just can't get sex and women off of his mind. And I like that through this avenue, he's able to explore this new internet age where all of your data is basically being used by God knows who, and basically is able to express that companies know a lot about who you are, they know a lot about your interests, and it also shows you that it's not even just the big companies, because they sell off your data to a lot of unknown third-party companies, and they use all this data and information about you to target you in a lot of different ways. And I like the way that this film was able to express that, and was one of the more interesting aspects of this film's setting and story. But it's just unfortunate that, well, I'll just say this. His previous two films, The Wolf of Snow Hollow and now The Beta Test, compared to Thunder Road, you can tell that these films is Jim Cummings really attempting to be more ambitious with his screenplay and his storytelling. You can tell he's trying to branch out and create films that have a lot of different twists and turns in them, and have more elaborate stories that have more ins and outs. And so far, in his attempts to be more ambitious with his screenplays, I really do kind of wish he would go back to a more simpler approach to filmmaking, which is what we see in Thunder Road, where it basically just serves as a character study. And it's that more dialed back approach that so far seems to be his ultimate strong suit. Not that he can't continue to experiment with other approaches to filmmaking, that's perfectly fine. But I would really love to see him attempt another more down-to-earth and simpler film like that, because I think he could make something that, again, is either a damn near perfect film or could be a perfect film. Because I do feel like a lot of the flaws with The Beta Test do come from him really trying to do a lot of things and really trying to reach far into a lot of these story elements, and also a lot of the genre elements that have to do with romance and horror and mystery. Because to be honest, this feels like something I would see on the Lifetime channel, except done by somebody who really knows what they're doing and somebody on screen that is incredibly talented. So obviously you have those two things that would really elevate the material. But in terms of the things that have to do with sexuality and infidelity and romance and some of the drama, it does feel like a Lifetime concept. And we're just lucky that Jim Cummings knows how to make something like that to be humorous and entertaining for the most part. Because, by the way, there are two sex scenes in this film, and the first one I didn't really mind that much because it is pretty crucial to the film's plot and characters, and also just because of how it's put together in this really creative way, to where it's kind of cross-cutting between different timelines and it's showing you like the cause and effect of what this is doing to the character. And for that reason, I didn't really mind the first sex scene, but then there's a second sex scene nearing the third act of this film, which, by the way, Virginia Newcomb is in this film, and I think that she's a lovely actress. I've only seen her in another independent film called The Death of Dick Long, and, you know, she was great in that film for the time that she was in it. And again, here, you know, the script doesn't really give her that much to work with, but I really want to see her in more stuff. I think so far she's doing a great job. But that sex scene, either you could have just taken it out of the film, or you could have captured it in a different way that didn't completely confuse me on its tone. Because at first I'm like, okay, I think I'm supposed to take this seriously. This is a serious moment for the character. And then the way it like ends, I didn't know if I was supposed to laugh at it or not. And I don't know, and it was kind of long. It just seemed pretty unnecessary in terms of the way that it was captured. But overall, I did enjoy the movie. I enjoyed it enough to recommend it to you guys and give it a shot. But if you haven't seen any of Jim Cummings' other films, as I mentioned, I think I've referenced Thunder Road like a billion times in this review already, but I just can't stress enough how amazing I think that film is. If you haven't seen that film or even The Wolf of Snow Hollow, I would recommend watching those two films before watching the beta test, because I do feel like those films are superior in different ways, especially Thunder Road. But if you've already seen Jim Cummings stuff up until this point, yeah, I would still recommend this movie. As I mentioned, there are plenty of things about it that I did find entertaining, and thankfully enough, Jim Cummings is such a talented actor and also writer and director that this film is really entertaining throughout, even though it has a number of flaws that I particularly didn't like. So I'm going to give the beta test a solid 6 out of 10. I really hope by some divine miracle Jim Cummings is watching this, because he's a pretty active dude on Twitter and YouTube and Letterboxd and everywhere else, and it would really warm my heart to know that he watched this. So if you're actually watching this, Jim Cummings, please leave a comment. And it's okay if you don't agree with any of the shit I said. But that's all I got to say about the beta test. If you really enjoyed what I had to say about the film, please give it a thumbs up and share it amongst your friends. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel to be updated on more film-related content.